Are you tired of forgetting to turn off your key switch when you're done with your tractor? Are you prone to letting your key switch on and only to come back hours later and realize you have a dead battery? Well, Case IH has you covered. With our new patented technology, simply turn on the key switch and we give you a visual reminder that you have left the ignition switch on. So you'll always remember to turn it off. All right, guys, Christmas Eve. It's Sunday, so I'm not real big into working on Sundays, but I wanted to come down to the shop and start up my new tractor I bought and drive it around a little bit today. We are scheduled to have a white Christmas. It's really neat because it's so... the chances of it snowing on Christmas Day are pretty rare. I remember a couple times growing up that we've had a white Christmas. Like I say, today's Christmas Eve, and tomorrow, or tonight, around 9 o'clock at night, it's supposed to start snowing and continue on until Christmas morning. So that's a real neat thing to have for Christmas Day. I don't know, the different weather sites are talking different accumulations. You know how it is with every weather you check, there's a different amount. One says 1 to 3 inches, which isn't much, and another one says 2 to 5 or 2 to 6. So basically, it's just going to snow for Christmas Day. So that's a neat thing for 2017. So I want to make sure that my loader's ready to roll. So you can see the updated line up here. So I'm going to start this tractor and take you guys along for the first test drive, and it's really the first time that I got out and drove it around, and I'll talk about some of the things I found with it so far. I don't have the hood on yet and probably won't put the hood on until I'm sure everything is good to go. So yeah, we'll get this thing started and get going here. Okay, so it's not much of a cold start. It's like 39, 40 degrees, but we'll see how this thing fires up. The starter was a little acting up a little bit yesterday. It might be the solenoid, and again, that could be from sitting out in the weather. Who knows what kind of condition it's in, but let's get this started. And of course, we have our turn signal that's hooked onto the key switch for some reason. Well, let's see if she'll start. And you can hear the telltale sound of a 3-cylinder diesel. One thing I didn't get to do yet on it is change the fuel filters, and that's a pretty important thing with a tractor that's been sitting. There is 2 fuel filters on this one, and you can see there's 2 on the 685, but on this tractor there's 1 on this side and 1 on this side, and I made a mistake and only ordered 1 because I didn't see the other one with the loader frame on. So what I'm going to do is change the first fuel filter from the fuel tank. That filter's bound to be the worst because the second filter already went through the first filter. So I'll just change the first one, and we'll have to wait till after Christmas next week sometime to pick up another one. I didn't get into this loader valve yet. Just let it warm up a little bit before we go out and start driving it around. Just talk about some of the things I found quick here with you. The shifters. When I went for a test drive, I had a hard time getting it in 1st and 4th gear, which are the 2 back positions for this shifter. I could feel it. It was there. I just couldn't get the shifter to stay in, so I figured maybe it was rusty, it was corroded, so I did spray everything up. I took this cover off, the center cover off yesterday. There are shifting rails in there, linkages, and those are for your range selector for high and low. They were loose, so I tightened them up, and then I got back to this one and saw that they were loose, really loose. So I tightened them up, and now I have no issues getting it into the first or fourth gear. So a lot of these things, when you test drive something and you're looking at a used piece of equipment, don't be afraid of some of this stuff, because like I say, for the sake of 10 minutes of just tightening up some shifting linkages, it pretty well fixed that issue I had. So we got new engine oil in, new antifreeze, new hydraulic oil, all the fillers are changed, and didn't change the fuel filters yet, we'll get to that. And you can see the muffler still bent, I didn't get it off. That is really on there, and I want to try my best not to break that manifold, so we're going to keep working at that. Somebody had suggested a torch and some heat, that might be an option. You can see I blew out the radiator and the oil cooler as best I could. So I'll come back with you here in a minute or two. I want to let it warm up. Alright, I'll just give you guys a quick tour of the controls here. Some of the things need to be addressed yet. You have your fuel gauge, which doesn't work. I just filled the tank. Coolant temperature doesn't look like it works. Both of those are electric. There's an electric sending unit for the coolant. It's about 12 bucks to replace. It could be that, but it also could be the gauge. Fuel gauge, it's probably the sending unit. You can see the tach works. 1204 hours, 0.2, so I'll keep an eye on that to make sure that ticks over. You have your hand throttle here, as well as your foot throttle, which is nice having a foot throttle on a loader tractor. You got your rotary light switch. That's an international design that's been used for years on a lot of equipment. You got your first click is your turn signal. Second click is usually headlights, I think. Third click, you have your field lights, or your headlights and your turn signals, and last click will be your field lights, something like that. On this side we have our shuttle shift, and the shuttle makes it real nice for a loader tractor. Push in your clutch, put it into a gear, you're in forward, and you go forward, scoop something, you want to back up, one flip of the shuttle, and you back up. So I had it in pretty high gear there. This is your stop, your engine stop. This is your lights for high beam. Your keys down here. This is for the ether, which it's not hooked up, the automatic ether. On your left side, you're going to have high and low range, and 1 through 4. And like I say, your parking brake. Over on this side, you got your power takeoff, which is your inside lever here in the back. This is your raise response for the 3-point hitch, slow, fast. And this is your up and down for the 3-point hitch. And this is heavy and light for the draft control. And down here you have the lever for your remote valve. Your remote one, this has one remote valve. And over here you have your loader control. So it's a pretty simple tractor to run. So we'll put her in first high here, shuttles forward. I'm going to take it for a ride here. So far I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Some of the dirt blowing out of the radiator. Put it in reverse. Gotta say the engine sounds pretty good. I noticed one thing, this is a pretty smoky engine. When you work it, it does smoke black pretty good. More so than my 685. I have to dig into this loader control valve. It's still the lift, that one spool on the inside for the lift up and down really goes hard. I mean, you gotta... So I have to address that yet, but it'll work if we get some snow. Like I say, I'm just throwing it back together here. The loader is very responsive, very fast. I mean, it goes. When you want it to go, it goes. It can be good and bad. I do like a quicker loader for loading stuff. I really don't like when a loader's really slow and the controls aren't responsive. My 560 loader is kind of that way. I do like it to be a little faster. Now, if you're doing finer work and want to be gentle, I don't know yet, but I'm hoping if that spool is fixed, I'll be able to feather it a little bit better. So yeah, it'll take a little bit getting used to with the bucket and figuring out where it is. Plowing snow. You guys know what I'm talking about. So you get used to a new loader. This is my third loader. My very first loader was an 8N Ford with a loader on it. And I know what you're thinking, the 8N Ford, it's those ugly pipe loaders. But this one had a pretty good, I don't know if it was a Kelly brand. It was had a shaft that drove off the engine and powered a pump in the front. And it was a pretty heavy duty loader for an 8N. And probably you could lift pretty heavy with it, more than you should have been able to on account of how light the front end is on those tractors. And like I say, the second loader I had was that International 2001 series you saw in the 560. And now a 2200 loader. So, yeah, we get that fixed, it'll be nice. I think it'll work good. So now, for those of you guys that are Case IH, here's your quiz of the day. I have a contest. Who can tell me what this switch does? There's nothing on it. It's faded. The winner, I guess, I don't know. I don't have anything to give you, but comment below. And whoever can tell me what this switch does, you know your Case equipment. So I'll take it for one more ride here. High range, first gear, forward. So, thanks for watching, guys. And now I can see if there's any leaks while it's sitting in here running. I had it out for a good half hour working all the controls. It needs to be run. That's 90% of it. It's just been sitting its whole life, sitting out in the weather, and everything was just in need of a little bit of grease and oil, and now it's got to get used. So probably after Christmas, when the ground's frozen a little bit, I can go up in the fields and take care of some of the brush and brush piles and trees and that kind of stuff. But it definitely needs a few tankfuls of diesel fuel through it. And needs some work, needs some labor. So yeah, we're at the end of this video. I want to thank you guys for watching as always, and I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hopefully tomorrow is a good day to spend with your families wherever you are, and hopefully everybody has a good holiday and a break from some of the workload and the work schedule. And like I said, we're supposed to get a white Christmas, which makes it real nice, and could get anywhere up to 6 inches of snow, or 1 to 3 or 3 to 6 or whatever they're calling for. So should be pretty neat and an enjoyable Christmas. So thank you guys for watching. I will put up a video tomorrow. I'll probably, I have a couple on standby if I need to put one up. If anybody's wanting to watch farming videos on Christmas Day. But thanks again, and Merry Christmas.